Hey guys, we're getting pretty close to the announcement for the all-new HTC One, or M8 it's codenamed. You can see a leaked image of it here on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side we have the original HTC One to compare with it. And yeah, we've been getting a lot of leaks about the M8 recently, and most significantly was a 12-minute hands-on video that was released on YouTube by a kid who somehow got his hands on a development edition of this device, probably from his dad, and he would have definitely got his dad in a lot of trouble for that. But he showed us a lot of information about it. We know a lot more about it now, so I wanted to make a roundup video of all those specs, all the designs, and just so we know a little bit more about it when the 25th rolls around. And don't forget to mark your calendars for the 25th of March, because that is when the announcement is. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the design. So if we take a look at the M8 on the left here, you'll see it's carrying a very similar design philosophy to the original HTC One. It's using very similar lines. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I honestly think the original HTC One was the best looking and best built Android device. It's really the only Android device that could stand up to the iPhone in terms of design and build quality, and they've taken all that and they've incorporated it in the M8, so I think it's great. They're still using an all metal design, so it's going to feel great in the hand, and they're using a brushed metal as well, so it looks pretty sweet. Now, there are some slight changes. You can see it's a little bit more curved. You can see that by looking at the corner of the device. It definitely looks a little bit more curved to me. And I believe the back is more curved as well. That's hard to tell from this image, but I believe it is. Some other subtle changes are they've taken the sensors, they've put them on the right hand side. You can see they're on the left hand side on the original, and they've also got rid of the capacitive buttons and they've made them on screen. Now, I'm used to a Nexus 5, so I like on screen buttons. I'm sure not everyone will, but they're probably there to stay now. And one thing I'm really happy about is they have kept the front facing speakers. Those things are just amazing. If you haven't heard the original HTC One sound, you will be blown away. It's just that good. So I'm glad they've kept that, and we definitely need more devices with front-facing speakers. The back of the device, this is where it gets really interesting. They've actually included two camera sensors. You can see them right there. I don't know exactly what this means or how they're going to do things with that, but I'm sure they've got a lot of software features to play with. Things like depth of field will probably be there, and focus length will probably be there. It will be really interesting to see what they do with those and how it actually affects your images. And you've also got a dual tone flash here as well. We've seen that on some iOS devices, and that should help you take, again, more true pictures, I guess is the best way to put it. So there you go. I'm really happy with the design of the M8. I still think it's going to be the best designed and best built Android device today. I don't think anything comes close because it has an all metal design, so it's pretty awesome. But let's go ahead and look at some more detailed specs. So before we get into this, don't forget these are rumored specs. Nothing here is written in stone. They could be wrong or they could change. We'll have to wait and see. We'll start off with the display, and you can see it's using the same screen technology as the original HTC One. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, the original HTC One had an awesome screen with the Super LCD 3. It had one of the best screens. It's probably still one of the best screens right now. It's a very natural looking display. It's got vibrant colors, but it's not oversaturated, so it's definitely a winner there. In terms of resolution, it's still 1080p 1920 by 1080, so there isn't any 2K resolutions here, and it's gone from 4.7 inches to 5 inches, so you've got a little screen bump, but don't forget you do have on-screen buttons, so you have to compensate for that. And that means a slightly decreased pixel density. It's now 441, but in all honesty, that's still crazy high, so you're not going to have any problems. Now, scrolling down, you'll notice it says no SD card slot. Now, we know from that 12-minute video on YouTube that his development version did have an SD card slot, so I'm not sure if that's just a development thing or if it's for certain markets. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it may be the case that HTC have actually put back in the SD card slot. And I know a lot of people will love that if it's true. So again, we'll have to wait and see if that comes true. Internal storage, 32 or 64 gigabyte models, and it has 2 gigabytes of RAM. So it hasn't quite matched the 3 gigabytes of RAM that the Xperia Z2 has, but 2 gigabytes is still plenty. Scrolling down here, we get to the cameras. Now, here you can see the dual 5 megapixel camera. HTC are still using the ultra pixel. You can see it's the bigger pixel, so they let more light in, and they've increased the megapixel size, and it has 2 sensors. So again, I'm not quite sure what they're going to do with that. You can see it also has the true tone flash dual LED. So again, we'll have to see what that does. But I'm really interested to see how this camera pans out. I don't know how they're going to do things with these 2 sensors on the back, but I'm sure they've figured it out. Yeah, it doesn't mention things like 4K recording here or anything like that, but again, these are just kind of generic specs you're seeing now. Nothing here is, like I said, in stone. They mention it has the Snapdragon 801 processor. A leaked benchmark, which you can actually see right here, if I can pull that up, actually shows it beating the Galaxy Note 3, and I think it scores actually pretty damn highly. I think it scored around 37 to 38,000, whereas the Galaxy S5 scored about 35,000. But in all fairness, the Galaxy S5 was running a development model and it was on display, so it was probably overheating a little bit. So take that into account, but I have a feeling they're both running the Snapdragon 801 processor. So there you have it, guys. That's pretty much all I can show you right now. Don't forget, the 25th of March is just around the corner. That's when we'll find out the official specs of the all-new HTC One. If you want to find out about the software features, I do think that 12-minute video is still on YouTube somewhere. It's been re-uploaded so many different times, so you'll have to go and find that. There's a few features that are actually pretty cool. So let me know what you guys think of this. I'm pretty intrigued by that dual sensor camera. I really want to know what that's going to do to the pictures you take and what software features they're going to implement. So yeah, peace out.